Hello. Today I want to talk about yet another of the important women of the history of Christianity whom you have probably never heard of. Today I want to talk about Frances of Rome. Frances was born of wealthy parents, and as a youth she found herself attracted to religious life, but her parents objected and she was married through an arranged marriage to a young nobleman. When she became acquainted with her new relatives, she soon discovered that the wife of her husband's brother also wanted to live a life of service and prayer. So the two of them, Frances and Vanosa, they set out together with their husband's blessings to help the poor. So Frances became ill for a time, but during this time that only deepened her commitment to the suffering people whom she met. As the years passed, Frances gave birth to two sons and a daughter. With now the responsibilities of raising children, she turned her attention more to the needs of her own household. The family did well, but then within a few years there was a plague that began to sweep across Italy. This is now the 15th century. It struck Rome with devastating cruelty, and it left Francis's second son dead. So in an effort to try to alleviate some of the suffering, Frances used all her money and sold her possessions to buy whatever the sick might need. Once all of her resources were used up, Frances and Vanosa went door to door begging. And later, Francis's daughter also died. And when that happened, Frances opened a section of her house as a hospital. Frances became more and more convinced that her way of life was so necessary for the world. And so as a result, she was given permission to start a society of women who were bound by no vows. So they weren't nuns. They simply offered themselves to God and to the service of the poor. Once the society was established, Frances chose not to live with the community, but to stay at home with her husband. And she did this for 7 years until her husband passed away. And then she came to live the remainder of her life with these other women, serving the poorest of the poor. And Frances died in the year 1440. I hope you've enjoyed this little story about Frances of Rome, and I hope you have a great day today.